It's been a few days since Disney's first short with sound, Steamboat Willie, went public domain, and thus far the actual trailers for concepts with the short have been absolutely bottom of the barrel horror movies or games. Now obviously something truly creative takes time and effort, both of which could be utilized to make an original character that you're not having to tiptoe around Disney's lawyers to sell to the masses. However, I've gotten tired of people acting like D-rate horror was the best concept people could release right after the mouse went public, so here's my top 10 original concepts for public domain Steamboat Mickey. Let's get started. Number 10, Steamboat Dash. I know that sounds like an endless runner, but hear me out. When I was a kid, there was a game called Diner Dash. Serve customers, clean things up, restaurant stuff. In that vein, Steamboat Dash would be about moving various 2D style characters in such a way that you can take them down the river to their next stop. So I guess you'd technically just be doing what the friendship boats from Disney World do in the form of a game. The hard part of this idea would be coming up with a fail state for the game. Even something as basic as make X amount of money before time runs out has a better fail state than knockoff mascot takes you out. Number 9, Murder Hevot. That's a terrible name. Similar to detective shows, this would center around Mickey having to solve crimes that happen either on his boat or at the port of call that he is stopped at. I'm thinking it'd be cooler if someone did this as a weekly series that's kid-friendly enough instead of focusing on more mature topics. I guess you could also do this for a more mature audience, but kid-friendly is within the spirit of Mickey Mouse, so that's what I'd prefer. Number 8, Mickey Mouse Steamboat Champion. I would consider this one of the better options for a TV series, similar to the Disney Junior show Mickey and the Roadster Racers. Truth be told, I've never actually watched the series, but fix up the boat as a way to start the episode and then have Mickey race at Boat Captain of the Week. Number 7, Steamboat Racers. There have been a lot of kart racers in the last few years due to Nintendo not making a new Mario Kart, and only relying on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's DLC to extend the life of the game. So why not add another one to the pile? I'm thinking with Disney's Plain Crazy short also being public domain, you could have a game very similar to Diddy Kong Racing on the Nintendo 64. Have Pete as Big Bad and you've got yourself a relatively cheap and easy clone that's still more original than What If Mickey Was Evil? Number 6, Untitled Mouse Game. If you haven't heard of Untitled Goose Game, then a quick summary is that you play as a goose that is trying to cause chaos. Now keeping in theme with the original Mickey Mouse, have Mickey cause chaos like when he winds up the goat to play music. A lot of his old friends, ones that kinda showed up in the Epic Mickey series of games, could make appearances in this to fill out the roster of characters to annoy. I know I didn't even mention the Steamboat in this one, so I guess that could be the starting level where you bother Pete and get fired. Number 5, Steamboat of Romance. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong places, but I somehow haven't seen anyone suggest just making a dating sim game out of the old characters. A dialogue box doesn't technically count as talking, probably, so you can just get away with the fact that Mickey and friends can't actually use words. Until a few years from now, I guess. Then have characters like Mickey, Oswald, Minnie, etc. all be on a long river journey and pick a character to try and woo some of the other characters. It even keeps the series in 2D, so the hardest part would be creating dialogue to entertain people. Number 4, Love at First Wave. This very much feels like an idea better suited for Disney, honestly, but have Mickey Mouse be a boat captain, kinda like near the end of Fantasmic, and then do one of those Love at First Sight shows. That honestly feels like half the premise to all of those types of shows, so it's a very unoriginal idea. Conversely, do a Hallmark-style movie where Minnie gets on a boat captained by Steamboat Mickey, and then they fall in love and get married. Those all sort of fall under the same umbrella though, so I'm not wasting a spot on the list separating them. Number 3, Castaway Mickey. This might have been one of my more original ideas, but Walt Disney made a short called The Castaway in 1931 starring Mickey Mouse, so that's definitely crossing a line. So, the real number 3, Up the River Without a Steamboat. The first cutscene of the game is Mickey driving his steamboat one night when suddenly a massive storm hits and his boat is shattered into various vital pieces, including separating the engine from his ship. Enough of the ship remains intact that if Mickey can find all the pieces, then he can sail back home. While this might sound like the original Pikmin game, the difference is Mickey wouldn't have help from the local inhabitants. He'd have to build a way to carry stuff back to where the boat capsized and then play a minigame, depending on the part, to repair it back into the ship. I will say this game would work best in a 3D setting, unless it was converted to a platformer, but Disney just had a platformer Mickey Mouse game on the Nintendo Switch, so I didn't even include that genre on the list. Number 2, Mickey Mouse Steamboat Sailor. Okay, before I even delve into this, obviously, a large, satisfying open world game takes a lot of time, and effort, and money, and talent to properly pull off. So I'm not entirely sure that this idea works on anything except paper, as that's a lot of requirements, while you'd also have to make sure you're not stepping on Disney's toes. This would be similar to The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, but probably on a smaller scale. As a more original idea, as later versions of Mickey and Friends become public domain, you could have Steamboat Mickey visit the islands and change to match that style. Did I just describe Kingdom Hearts without Sora? Number 1, Toontown. Utilizing characters that are already in the public domain, this would be a show in the same vein as Phineas and Ferb, where your main cast would do whatever daily activity and then sing once or twice an episode. I'm fully aware this idea is rather derivative, even for this list, but I think if it was done right, then it could easily be one of the most unique ideas for a show, movie, or video game. Plus, if Minnie and Mickey weren't used as the main characters, then theoretically, you wouldn't really have to deal with Disney's lawyers. I know from a high level, none of these were 100% unique ideas for games or shows or movies. However, I would honestly argue that if someone could make an idea that was somehow not derivative of anything else, then they'd need to not be blabbing about it in a list like this, and just get to working on it so they can make all the profit off of it. Disney is definitely going to be watching the public domain content closely to see if someone steps over the Mickey Mouse line, so if you're attempting to make something, just be careful. Or I guess you could pitch the idea to Disney and see if they'll let you do like Illusion Island and have the game star a more modern version of Mickey and Friends. Let me know which idea you like best, or if you've got any ideas that would be better than the horror we've had announced thus far. Also make sure to subscribe, as I've got a lot of ideas in the works. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!